my gosh, this is a new setup that I'm trying out. I like the way visually it looks. I don't know if you can see my little fur baby right here, Selena, my pit bull, my potato. She made this 10 times harder, and I didn't think about how squishy my bed is. See if I put that blooper in. I was really overstimulated and struggling, but I'm liking this. How you liking this? We'll see if I keep it. I'm definitely gonna use it for another project because this is more aesthetically pleasing for that one than in my chair, but we'll see if I can handle the overstimulation. But you know what? It's teaching me to breathe. It's teaching me to breathe and be all right. I'm Betty Watch Day. Good afternoon. If this is your first time here on my little teepee, my little home here on YouTube, welcome. Welcome. My name is Jasa, and I am here to be me, to show up as me. I have fought to make a safe space for my inner child and my inner teen. Still working on it, but I've done pretty good. They feel pretty safe for the most part. Still got some work to do, but this is also part of my healing and making a safe space for my spirit. Because I'm be real. I've always wanted a lot of people to see me. I wanted to be seen. I wanted people to hear me and like actually want to listen to me and get to know me as a being. That is like one of my biggest dreams. And for so long I was taught and like projected onto that that's like an ego thing and all of that. But I got a Leo moon, Libra rising, and I'm a Virgo sun. Like I'm on the cusp of Leo Virgo. So I really like to be seen. And as I've done this work, I've realized that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm weird. I am weird. When I say weird, I don't use it in a negative context. When I say weird, I mean like different than normal. Than like the box that colonizers created, this colonial construct, this society, taught us like, has a whole list of like what's considered good and like normal, and you got to strive to be normal, and then like what's weird, right? List of that, don't be that, otherwise other people are gonna put you down and bully you and all these things, instead of like going to the root of why is there gonna be people projecting and bullying other people for being different. We are all our own spirit or spirits. We're not meant to be the same. Huh, Selena? She agrees. She agrees. We are not meant to be the same. And I'm very grateful because I'm Lakota, I'm indigenous, and my ancestors moved with like, they had 7 values that they followed. And like, following those values, you're living a good life. And it's not like you got 10 teepees and like 50 horses. No. I don't have them written down. I do for another project, so when that project's out and about, I'll let you know. But they're just like basic things like kindness and generosity and empathy, like the basic things every being should use as their core value to move in life, because then you're going to treat all the living beings, including Uchimaka, Grandmother Earth, as well as you possibly can. You know, instead of seeing them separate or different so you can mistreat them. No. And as I've done my healing, it's really just like decolonizing your spirit, decolonizing your brain, which is a computer, because this like colonial society and structure is just so limiting, and it's built in a specific way to keep majority of people down and only benefit a little amount of people. I'm done following that. And I'm grateful that I was able to learn my ancestors' beliefs and the way that they moved and lived in life. And like knowing that there's more than one way to live this human life, right? We're spirits in a human meat suit experiencing human life. And it's so short compared to our infinite spirit or spirits. So I want to live it up. I want to live it up. My first almost 30 years. I'm 30, but some of it's been good, but majority of it was rough. It was rough. And I just want to live. Like, just want to enjoy it as much as I can and do everything that my spirit's called to do. I love to create things. I am creating, and that's why you see my big old face right now. I'm creating, and I'm loving every part of it. Correct myself. Some of it I do get frustrated. A lot of it I get overstimulated. But I'm also autistic ADHD, so I'm going to be kind and gentle with my neurodivergent brain and understand when I do new things and I get out of my comfort zone and I'm learning new stuff, I'm going to get overwhelmed. I'm going to get overstimulated. But I'm not going to put myself down. I'm not going to feel less than for not being like amazing at something I'm just learning how to do. So if you just want to live your life for you and you have no idea how to do that, or you're on a healing journey, or for whatever reason you found me and you're interested to stay in my little teepee, my little home here on YouTube, welcome. You are more than welcome to stay as long as you like. You can check out my other videos. I'm probably going to have quite a lot posting at the same time because I'm not posted all summer, and it is spooky season. It is October. But I had a lot happen in my other videos. I kind of go over that. I'm trying not to be messy, so we'll see if I post some of them because they're very detailed. There's a lot of hot steaming tea in there. But I'm back to me. Like, I asked my ancestors, my spirit team, to reveal if there's any beings or energies that were like deceiving or hiding things from me, and then they showed me everything. And it was really hard because like one of my caregivers, and it's like I knew, my intuition knew, but what was being shown was that person was like doing the work and like healing and going to therapy, and in reality none of that happened. And then I was put the summer, like right when the summer started, back into the world that I had so much trauma in. Like that being was screaming and yelling, and like their emotions are very irregulated. Their nervous system is so irregulated. And it just like very toxic environment. But I'm really grateful because like that shown me how far I've grown, because instead of like getting consumed in it and reacting and like going to that person's level, like shrinking down to their level to match them, I just told them no. Like, I am not dealing with any of this. I worked very hard to make a safe space for myself where I'm not reactive, emotionally reactive. Like, I'm working on it sometimes, yes, I'm not perfect. But like the way that being as emotionally reactive is scary. Like, it made my body shake, but I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I am not doing any of this. You obviously kept a lot of secrets from me and you lied to me. And this is going to be your own lessons. And it sucks that I'm going to have to at that moment, I was just like, we need some space. But because I asked for space, that person really freaked out and was like, well, you don't have to think about me ever again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing any of that. Like, I'm not going to beg you. I'm not doing any of that. And you obviously have not been in therapy. You have not been doing any work. And this sucks, but this is how it's ending. And I've cut my relationship off with that being many times. So I don't understand why she thought that I would tolerate her behavior, especially with how much I've healed. But I think because I've been so patient and like calm and understanding with her behaviors, because she lives like halfway across the country. I'm on like the West Coast or Pacific Northwest Coast. And you can hide a good amount, right? If you're not in person with people a lot. And just things I heard, like I would be very understanding as to why she would do her actions. I'm like, hey, this is why you're doing it, but you got to sit on it and like change it. And that did not happen. For some reason, she thought that my patience meant I'm going to let people mistreat me and emotionally abuse me and use me in whatever way they want. But she learned that that's the opposite of whenever you make a safe space for your spirit, when you truly, and I know like I'm still healing, but I've made like solid boundaries with the beings around me and like myself even. That's the hardest one. I'm really trying to learn my like boundaries and promises with myself. But whenever you are solid in yourself, you're not gonna let other people mistreat you. And it may take time at first. Like you may be speaking your truth and crying while you're speaking your truth. Like especially if you're a people pleaser. Like I'm a recovering people pleaser. It's really hard to like not want to upset somebody. But I've learned people pleasing, you're hurting both yourself and that person because you're also being deceptive, right? And I know that can be a little harsh to hear. When I heard that the first time, I was like, I'm just trying to make people happy. But in reality, you're agreeing to things or you're saying yes to things or whatever it is that you don't want to do. And you can like harbor feelings, anger, and all kinds of emotions within that. And it'll come out in other ways around like people you're around and the people that you're saying yes to when you shouldn't say yes to, or when you don't have energy to give. You're deceiving them by like saying, hey, it's cool, when in reality it's not. And I understand like if you really feel that if you say no, hey, I'm not available, or I can't do this for you, or like my boundary is no, I won't be able to do that kind of stuff for you, whatever it is. I understand like it's scary and the fear of the person getting upset, right? But if someone like loves you unconditionally, they will understand. And like maybe they're on their own journey and like maybe they need a moment to realize like it's not a reflection of how you care for them. Like what you do for them should not equal how much you care for them. Like if you can't give, they'll be like, okay, I understand. I love you so much and I'll see you when you're available, when I'm available, and we'll do what we want to do, what aligns with us. And like, especially if you know that they're going to be upset, that is their own journey to go on. And also yours, in the way of if this being is going to be upset that you're not doing something for them, they're not getting something out of you. Like sit on that. And I kept that open-ended because that's their own stuff. And like if you want to call them out, like, hey, this doesn't make me feel good, and they're willing to self-reflect and realize, hey, maybe like this is a cycle that I've been taught to, like, if someone loves me, they'll do anything I want, or like whatever it is, they got to sit with their shadows and sit with it if they're willing to do that. But I have learned that you can't force anybody to go in their shadows, to self-reflect. You can't force them to heal and make a safe space for their spirit. You can lead by example, right? And you can like share your tools and your knowledge and all this stuff, but you can't make them. You can try. You can try, but I recommend don't do it. Don't do it. But if you need to learn the hard way, I did too. And you're just gonna take on their karma. And karma is simply lessons. Like Muchimaka, Grandmother Earth, is school for our spirit or spirits. We come here to learn whatever we wanted to learn as a spirit or spirits, grow, evolve, and then we go on to our next journey. And like that, but when we get here, everything gets erased. And it's our choice if we want to navigate and figure out what we like wanted to learn and all of that. That's our choice, right? Where was I going? my brain likes to party and not tell me what it's doing sometimes. Okay. So karma, it's lessons. It's not necessarily just like negative things. It's whatever energy you put that out there comes back to you, right? And then karma is like lessons. So if you are taking on someone else's lesson, something you've already learned, but you're like, oh, I'll take this for you. I'll do this for you to help you. You're taking on their lessons, and that means everything that comes with that lesson. So the karma that comes with it for them to learn and grow, you're gonna get that. And then, like, if you already know those lessons, you're just gonna be dealing with a bunch of crap that you've already learned. And then a lot of the time, those beings that you're trying to help will also be upset with you. Like, there's just so much that entails with trying to save other beings. So I highly recommend focusing on yourself. Like, if you have kids, I understand that's different. But I mean, just like another person you love, and you're like, I see what you need to sit on and like look at. I see it. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You can straight up tell them details on what cycles it is, but if they're not ready to hear it, I'll tell you right now, you probably activate them in a very negative way. Like, in the future, they may appreciate it if they really want to grow, but in that moment, if someone doesn't want to see something and you are highlighting it and putting it in their face, they're not gonna like that. Like, majority of the time, they're not going to appreciate what you're doing, right? They may just see it as like you putting them down or whatever it is, like wherever they're at and whatever cycles they have, that's how they're gonna see it, right? So that energy and that time that you want to put in other people, put into yourself. I have learned to put it into myself, and now I'm solid in me. I am solid in me. I'm not using things to run anymore. I've been like eating a lot better. I have treated myself a few times with like really delicious things, but I'm not emotionally eating at all. I haven't really been gardening. I gardened twice since the beginning of September, and now it's October, and I like waited all of September, and it was fun, but I don't know. Right now, like, I'm cool with just me and not like other things outside of me. I'm pretty cool. And like, that's a really big deal for me because I've always been projected onto that like I wasn't enough, right? And I've worked very hard for my inner child and my inner teen to feel safe with me. That was a little overview of where I've been. I feel like I went everywhere. But today I had this conversation with my little sister, and I know so many beings really struggle with like loving our human meat suit, like our physical body, especially in this colonized world. Trigger warning, this is gonna be about like body issues and stuff and body stuff, and I know that can be very activating and triggering, so trigger warning. I was talking to my little sister about this, and I forget because I don't really got cable. I don't have cable. So I don't really see commercials, but I guess one of the streaming things, I do sometimes see commercials. And I still see like the weight loss bullshit. It just makes me so mad. So mad, because if your body is healthy, that's all that matters. Like, that is all that matters, that your body is healthy. That's it. No matter, other than that, your body's gorgeous. Now, if you want to change it for yourself, right? Because your spirit doesn't resonate with a certain part or whatever, like that's from your spirit, yes, like you do what you have to do to feel safe and comfortable in yourself in your human meat suit. But if it's other people that are making you feel less than because of a way your meat suit looks, or whatever it is that involves your beautiful human meat suit, that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with those beings. And unfortunately, in this colonized society, it is so limiting, and it's literally built to make us hate ourselves. It is so negative. It's so negative. Like you look through history, right? Different bodies have been accepted through time, but only like a certain body each time, especially like females or feminine beings, right? A certain type through history. But then like that one type was the only one that was accepted, and all the rest was like looked down upon and like shamed and all this stuff. And majority of it was if like you're not really thin, right? Especially when I was a teenager, it was like the 000 pants and like being that tiny, like where the majority of the pants when you went shopping didn't even cover your whole ass unless you had a tiny ass. And I literally have scars from those kind of pants, and those just were not built for my shape, right? But I was taught, like so many beings were taught, if you weren't like a stick, which that's also gorgeous, that is gorgeous, but like you had to be that, otherwise you're ugly, like you're not accepted, there's something wrong with your body. And unfortunately, like I dealt with that like at school because I've always been thick, but then I dealt with it coming home. Most of the women in my family, and I know, like now I know that they were just continuing a cycle because they were also projected onto to like hate their bodies. And mind you, like some of them were bigger than me, like thicker than me, or some like were the ideal body, like that really skinny body, the perfect body during that time, yet they still felt ugly. They still felt like super huge and like all this stuff, and it was so overwhelming. It just felt like you could never ever be good enough, ever. And that just hit me where I'm like, you know what? Honestly. So I, for a time in high school, lived with two of my cousins. And we were heavily projected on in that kind of way with like our body image. And we all got eating disorders because of it. Trigger warning, trigger warning. We all got eating disorders because of it. Theirs was like crazy exercise, being in all the sports, and like barely eating. And then me, I'm like, I can't do any of that. I can't do any of that. So I'll be fat forever. And I just ate my feelings. But I remember like sitting there just eating and eating and just putting myself down so bad. So bad. And I got like, it feels so crappy just spending your time putting yourself down, especially like on top of that, a majority of beings around you are also putting yourself down. You're just in an environment of feeling like something's wrong with you constantly. And I like would fight it, and I still would wear things I wanted to wear. Like I was a little emo scene kid. I definitely had like to a point of not caring what other people thought of me, but I still like let myself beat myself up. And then too, those commercials were crazy when I was a teenager. Like I was unhappy and I lost 30 pounds and now I'm skinny and happy. And I'd be like, if I just get skinny, then I'll be happy. But in reality, like I had a lot of family that was skinny and still had eating disorders and still felt like ginormous and ugly and all this stuff. And in reality, like any size is beautiful. We're just taught to put ourselves down constantly. And I know I do have this shared on a past video. I'll briefly, when I went to college, that's when I started gardening. And one time I gardened and I was in my dorm room with my roommate, and I was like on my bunk, and I just remember like looking at my body. And like when I would garden, I didn't know I was neurodivergent during this time. Like I just found out, I think a year ago. But so I didn't know at this time. I was only 18. And I remember looking at my body and like I just started crying, and I realized like, man, I'm sorry how much I've hurt you, like physically, because I also self-harm for a very long time. There's trigger warnings everywhere this whole video. I self-harm for a very long time, and then also like binge eating, and just like the negative things I would say to myself and my body. I remember like looking at my body and just crying and apologizing and being like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I mistreated you when all you've done my entire life is take care of me. And when I'm rough with you and I abuse you and all this stuff, you show up every day healthy and you let me live this life, even though a lot of it's been rough. You give me the opportunity to live on Unchimaka, Grandmother Earth, and make memories with beings I love. And I just, like, that moment, moving forward, is like when I started my first journey of healing, because there's like so many layers depending on you and your life, right? Learning how to love my body. And that was like the beginning. And then that summer, I think it was, actually no, it wasn't that summer, it was summer after. So I think it was after my sophomore year in college. I remember, because that's when I started like just wearing what I wanted. And I always wanted to wear like short skirts and crop tops and all this stuff. I remember wearing that. And my birth giver, I remember being in the car with her, and this was in Pine Ridge. We're like driving home. Oh no, we were leaving, we were going out. And I felt so good. I felt so good. I was wearing a crop top, I was wearing like a skirt. I felt so good. And we got in, she started driving, and then she looked at me and she's like, isn't that outfit more for smaller girls, like smaller women? And I remember just looking right at her and smiling and being like, I look gorgeous. And I remember like even moving like this, I was like, I look amazing. And like the confidence in her face, like the shock. Literally her mouth was like open. She couldn't respond. And it was just like her realizing that those words towards my body were not gonna affect me anymore. I wasn't going to let her negativity and her projections have power over me and the way I move in that way, right? I had a lot of other cycles I had to unlearn from that being, but like that moment felt so good. I was like, it could have went the opposite way where I just felt really crappy and like wanted to change my outfit, but her comment had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with her and like what she was taught and projected on and all of that. But that's not gonna ruin my day in this beautiful outfit that my human meat suit is rocking. Like, it was just such a good feeling. And I'm sharing this because it can be so hard to love your human meat suit in this colonized society. But I'm gonna tell you right now, your meat suit is stunning. It is gorgeous. And your body is a only like thing that came with you when you first entered Unchimaka, Grandmother Earth. Your body was with you then, and your body will be with you all the way until the end of this journey. And honestly, like if somebody has a human being that they have from the beginning to end, that is so cool. But other than that, my body is the being that I'm going to be with the most. Out of any being I experience, my body, my physical body is going to be with me till the end. And I want to love it as much as I can and take care of it. And if other people don't love it and want to mistreat it, they can head out. You ain't welcome around me. I worked very hard to love all of this. And I know it's not gonna be easy, right? And I sometimes like those negative voices will try to come in, especially like when I'm getting out of the shower and stuff. I'm like, you know what? My body is beautiful. It is beautiful. I love my tummy, my teji. I love all of it. Get out of here. Get out of here. And at first, like, it may be hard to get those voices out, but eventually it'll get easier and easier. Because you deserve to love your body the way it is. And, like, if there are parts that don't resonate with you at all, like with your spirit, then you do whatever, like, you change it the way that feels right for you, but don't change your body based off other people's opinions. That is their own journey to go on if they want to go on it. That ain't your business. Your business is learning to love your body and be kind and gentle to it. If you need me to come fight them, just kidding. They ain't worth it. They ain't worth it. I'll just take you and we'll go disappear in a bush and they ain't gonna ever find us again. They ain't gonna be able to be mean to you and your beautiful body ever again. But I'm also a Virgo and a little too easy for me to just disappear out of people's lives. But I've worked on it. I have worked on it. And if I truly love somebody, I'm gonna let them know, like, if they're mistreating me, actions they're doing is hurting me, I'm gonna let them know, right? And then it's their choice if they want to work on those parts that are affecting me in a negative way. And then if, like, they can't, I wish you the best. But my life is too short. I already spent 30 years dealing with a lot of crap I shouldn't have dealt with. So I'm gonna live my life. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'm making some, cauliflower chicken pot pie. I'm gonna film a little bit more. And I just love this space. Thank you for making this space just so beautiful. Like, my inner child and my inner teen having this space and just me being me. And people actually wanted to hear me. It's just such a cool thing because I've just taught for so long that I'm not worthy of being heard. I'm only worthy of showing up for what I can do for other people. I'm not doing that no more. Like, I love helping people. And, like, if what I do helps people and we can create, co-create and all this stuff, I'm not going to self-sacrifice myself anymore. And you deserve to not self-sacrifice. You deserve to live the life your spirit came here to live. So let's go do that. Let's go live. I'm gonna go eat and see if I get overstimulated, try and get out of this bed. We will see. Thank you for spending your precious time and energy with me. I believe in you. We got this. We may be crying, we may be sobbing, but we are making a safe space for our spirit or spirits. Dokshake. I'll see you later.